Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's your girl Mary Jane. Please like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It'd be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. So I'd just like to thank everybody for commenting, and subscribing. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. So let's talk about Insecure. Season 2, episode 7, hella disrespect. Let me tell you, there was hella disrespect going on when we find out Daniel did it on purpose. He come shot at Issa's face on purpose. See, if she would have used the condom for oral, she wouldn't have got shot at. Or if she could sense when he's about to nut. That's so wrong. Hella disrespectful. So, Issa's on the phone. She's talking to Molly. She's telling Molly, he shot cum in her face or whatever. And so, Molly's like, no, nigga, no, no, in your face. No, no, I'm not with that shit. We're gonna mess him up on sight. When we see him on sight, we're gonna tear him up. And, Asa was like, nah, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. She was like, that's all right. You don't got to go. We're going to get a dozen of eggs, put them in a water gun, go to his house and shoot him all up in the face. And we can put egg nut all over his face. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what your homegirl's supposed to do for you. She's supposed to make you feel better. She's supposed to talk you. She's supposed to make you feel like, hey, I got your back if nobody don't got your back, especially when you're in a rut. Because right now, Issa feels disrespected. She feels used. She feels abused. And then on top of that, Daniel ain't the man that she wants to be with. She don't really want to be with Daniel. She wants to be with Lawrence. So now, doing her whole-ish week, her whole-ish month and all that other stuff, it just caught up to her after Daniel nutted on her face, because she thought at least he'll have some type of respect for her. He cared for her some bit, and she thought that she was in control of all the situation of being her whole week. And now she realized that she's not in control of the situation. She's not in control of her feelings like she thinks she is. So then, moving on, Molly, she's talking, and so then, Issa asks Molly, hey, what's going on with you and Dro? She was like, so did you stop it? She was like, nah, I kind of didn't. We did it like 1 and like 17 times. We just keep doing it. It keep getting better. Issa's like, yo, why you doing that? Really? Like, do you know what you doing? Isn't Dro with Candace? He's married and everything. I know it's an open relationship and all that, but girl, do you know what you're getting yourself into? So Molly was like, don't question me. Molly's like, you know what? The same girl that just got sprayed with, just got a cum facial. Straight diss, Issa. You just got a cum facial, and you're going to be talking junk about, I know what I'm doing with Dro. But really, Molly doesn't know what she's doing with Dro, because, Issa asks Molly, so where do you want it to go? Where do you want this relationship to go? She goes, that's the thing. I don't know where I want to go. I don't know. I'm just having sex with a married man. That's what I'm doing. And I'm catching feelings for him, because if she didn't have feelings for him, you know what? She would be able to go with her first instinct, where she wanted to stop the sexual relationship with Dro because he was married. And she is just the side piece, really. But she can't. She keeps on going for it. She wants to be with Dro, but Dro's already married. And so that's what Issa's trying to let her know. Like, hey, listen, he's married. He can't give you what you want or what you need. Only thing he can do is make you come, girl. And so, Molly is not trying to hear that. She was like, yo, I don't want to hear what you're trying to say. I didn't judge you when you had your whole week. You've been around town hoeing, having this one, having your whole rotation thing. And so, Issa was like, yeah, she's right on that. Molly knows Issa's right too, but she shuts Issa down quickly. So it's just like, but it was nice to see them have that conversation about the situation where both are doing wrong and both don't know what they're doing. Both don't know what they want from the end result of what they're doing, because Molly doesn't know what she wants from the end result of messing with Dro, and Issa doesn't know what she really wants at the end of her whole week and just having sex with random guys and things like that. So they really both at the same place. Only thing is, Molly is fixated on one guy and Issa's having sex with a bunch of guys, but she's still fixated on Lawrence. But Lawrence is MIA. So we'll see what happens with that situation, because it's gonna get ugly between Molly and Dro. It's not gonna look too pretty, because she's all caught up. She's caught up, and he can just easily go find another replacement and still have his wife there, and she'll still be in the same boat she was when she first started with Dro. So we'll see what happens with that. And so Issa, she gets on the bus or whatever, and it's the same kid from last week. And while she's sitting next to him, he pulls out a pre-SAT book or whatever. And so then she looks at him and she was like, we have tutoring for that classes or whatever. Blah, and she was like, he was like, yeah, I talked to Vice Principal Gaines, and he goes, it's all filled, there's no space. So that's when Issa's having a change of heart, where she's going to take an initiative to do something about the situation other than Frida. Frida just wants to complain, but it also seems like something's going on with Frida. Frida's having some personal issues at home, which are going to spill out at work pretty soon, or she's going to take it out on Issa. So, so then Issa goes to talk to Frida and tell her, hey, listen, I understand about the trying to increase the Latino population and our after school program. I created this outline so we can pass this out and try to get the increase of kids to let them know that we're available and here and that. And so Frida was like, oh, I wanted to do the same thing too. She was like, oh, I must have came off like a B word when you first approached me, whatever. Oh, yes, you did. And then on top of that, Frida was like, oh, I was thinking the same thing. We thinking like our brains are like we're aligned, even though we are not, speaking to each other. And so, Issa was like, okay, that's a little bit too much. And it was like, how come you couldn't take the initiative, Frida? Why couldn't you do anything? Like I said in my other video, but it seems like Frida is preoccupied with something. I don't know if she's pregnant. I don't know what's going on with her, but she's having a situation which she's keeping to herself right now. But sooner or later, she's going to tell Issa what's going on, or she's going to tell her boss. So, Frida and Issa, they pass out handouts to all the Latino kids while they're getting on the bus. Principal Gaines come by, and so Issa stops Principal Gaines, and she's like, hey, listen, we're trying to increase the numbers of the Latino students to come to our after school program. I don't know if you aware of that and all this other stuff. And he was like, isn't your classes full? Isn't kids coming to your after school program? So what's the big difference? What's the difference? And then Issa goes, well, we just want some of the Latinos kids to come. We want it to be multiversatile. And I don't know if I gave you the wrong opinion, Principal Gaines, but everybody's welcome. And so he was like, girl, you ain't got to yell. I ain't deaf. I hear you. So Issa's actually sticking up for the Latino kids and Frida at the same time, which is something Frida can't do. She's really passionate about the situation, but she won't take the initiative to stick up or even address, Principal Gaines. It's all up to Issa to do it. So why is she so codependent on Issa? Is she living off of her strength and her power that Issa has and she doesn't have it, and admires Issa for it? And was really disappointed because Issa didn't run and do what she wanted her to do right away. So we'll see what happens with Frida, where she's going to be going with her situation. And so Molly, she's at home. Dro comes through the door. He unlocks the door with his keys or whatever. And Molly tells, Dro, you can keep the keys. Hold on to the keys. So when you give somebody keys to your apartment, you're actually opening up your life to them. You're actually giving them the keys to your life in so many different words, because that's your private space, and you sharing it with someone that you are intimate with. So now we already see that Molly is already head over heels for Dro, and she wants to be with Dro, but Dro can't move in with her. Dro can't live with her. He already got a home, and he already got a wife. So that's not going to happen. But we can see where Molly is all over Dro, and it's just like a bad thing. And then she starts to kind of like feel weird, because then they talk about going to Derek's birthday party. Tiffany invited them or whatever, and so then that's when Dro said, Tiffany wanted me and Candace to do this, the pilot or whatever. And so then that's when Molly gets upset, and she was like, oh, I knew she was coming, but and she goes towards the refrigerator, and she's feeling like less of a woman at this time. Like, she is the side piece. She's gonna be put on the back burner. She thought she was gonna be all over Dro in front of their friends at this birthday party, but it's not gonna happen, because his wife is gonna be there, and his wife comes first. And so Dro, he can sense that she's feeling ill about the situation, so he tries to make her feel better about the situation. And kiss up on her, hug up on her, and all that other stuff, and was like, we do have something special. We do have something, it's not just sex or whatever. He was like, we have our own special thing. We have our own special relationship. Basically, rubbing her down easy with butter, making her all smooth and everything. And she starts smiling. She's feeling good. She's feeling happy about the situation at this time and point. And then Issa get a text to find out that Lawrence is coming to the birthday party. Issa, she texts Molly. Molly was like, if I knew he was coming, I would have told you. So now Issa's trying to get prepared because she thinks she's going to see Lawrence. He's going to be by himself. He's not going to have a date or whatever because it's an intimate birthday party. But Lawrence is going to end up going to the birthday party with a date. He's going to go with the girl from his job because Lawrence has kind of been seeing this girl at his job that has a crush on him or whatever. And they had plans to go out, but he just realized that, there's a birthday party and he was going to cancel his plans with her. And she was like, oh, you just want me to come? Because Lawrence was like, my ex-girlfriend's going to be there and everything. She was like, well, so you want me to come with you or whatever? We can go get drinks later. So Lawrence is like, yeah, that's a good idea. No, it wasn't a good idea, Lawrence. But Lawrence didn't know it was a sit-down dinner. But why bring a new girl around, Issa's friends, which she introduced them to you, so they're really more like her friends as well as your friends, but they know her longer. So why bring another date right now when the relationship is still kind of fresh? It hasn't been a year or two yet, so a year yet or whatever. But Lawrence is like, whatever. So he's bringing his new chick to the thing, and to the birthday party, and so then Issa, she goes on Facebook. She's checking Facebook, to see any pictures, to see if he's dating anybody or whatever. And she realized that she's blocked and she's hella shocked. She feels hella bad. And she was like, yo, he really blocked me? How you gonna block me out of his life? You're gonna block me out for 5 years, hit a button like I'm going, like I wasn't there to support him and be there for him? And so she's feeling some type of way about the situation. So she gets in the car. She slams the door. Her brother says, what's wrong, niggas? I'm like, yo. It's crazy. Oh, but the funny part too with Issa and the principal, Gang says to her, okay, you want to help the youth? You want to help all youth? Okay, so I guess all life matters. If you want to do that, is that your purpose? That's what you want to do? You do it. And and Gang's like, if you want Mexicans in your group, you can have Mexicans. I don't care. Because Gangs is trying to get to the bathroom because his stomach is hurting from that food poisoning. And then but he does, and Issa's like, no, we want all students to be there, and blah blah blah. And Gangs goes, stop yelling, ain't nobody deaf. And so Daniel, he calls Issa or whatever. He calls Issa, and he says he's sorry, whatever. He didn't mean for it to happen. Can she forgive him? And so she's, warming up to him. So she's about to forgive him. And she was like, you fucked up doing this or whatever. And he goes, well, I guess we're both in the same boat now because we both fucked up. We both did some, some shit. It's like some revenge or something or whatever. I fucked up, you fucked up. So it's like we did the 360 together. She was like, what you mean you on some revenge shit? And blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yo, so you really did that on purpose? Like, what? And he was like, kinda, yeah, not really, but yo, I didn't mean it like that. And so she was like, don't you ever call me again, don't you ever talk to me again. So Daniel's being a total jerk, but she was willing to forgive him. But she's really feeling some type of way. And when he shot that cum in the face, it was so much. That was horrific. You gotta learn how to dodge or something. So, but after that, that's when Issa gets in the car and slam the door and say nigga or whatever. So I spoke that one too soon. And so then Tiffany shows up to the birthday party. Everyone's at the birthday party so far. Not everybody is there yet. Tiffany's there, and she was like, she's talking to her girls, and she was like, yo, I got a real one. I'm gonna go meet my man's parents next week. Blazing the third, he's a real one. And then Candace and Dro walks in, and Molly's sitting at the bar, and she's watching, and her heart is all broken. She wore Dro's favorite dress. He tells her, oh, you look beautiful. Blase in the 31, my favorite dress or whatever. And so then Candace comes up right behind them, and she gives Molly a hug, and Molly spills her drink. Dro almost on Candace, but she didn't because she's nervous, she's shocked, she can't believe like this is happening, because usually there would be an altercation or there'll be an argument, but right now, especially when a man is sleeping with two women and in the same room, one is his wife and one is his mistress, but in this situation it's okay because they have an open marriage. So she's just nervous, you know, she's just filled with nerves. So her and Candace, they have conversation, they talk like everything's all good. Then it's time to sit down at the table. And so Molly sits right next to Dro, and Dro pulls out Molly's chair and help her sit down. She was like, "Thank you, baby," but he didn't help his wife. And so then that's when Tiffany goes over to Molly. Hey, listen, I didn't plan this all out. I didn't have all this so going on the table with placemats and direct and design this whole birthday gathering for you to just sit anywhere you want to sit. There are nameplates, honey, so get up and find you a seat. So Molly is sitting very far from Dro, and she's feeling out of place. She's feeling like she's not connected to Dro because she can't talk to him. She's trying to get into the conversation. She's not able to get into the conversation, and she's watching Dro with his wife and talk to everybody and have a, you know, a good time with his wife with his prized possession next to him, and she wants to be his prized possession, but she can't because she's a side piece and she has to be a secret. So it's kind of bothering her. She's having turmoil inside because she wants this dude, she likes this dude, but she know deep inside it ain't gonna work and he ain't gonna leave his wife, and if he does, it's gonna be a big situation because they're all friends. So then, so they're chilling or whatever, and guess who walks through the door? um who walks through the door is Lawrence. Lawrence walks through the door with his date, and Kelly's like, "Oh hell no! Oh hell no! No, he didn't. There must be a sale on denim." And so, and Tiffany is like, Tiffany was like, whatever. So there's not enough space for Lauren's date, so they have to move seats. They have to get an extra chair. Derek has to get an extra chair. Everybody has to move and slide down. Tiffany was like, "I got extra forks," and then what's her name, Lawrence date, he says, she goes, "Yo, I know it's kind of weird because I'm a random just showing up at Derek's birthday party or whatever," and then you all start to laugh or whatever. And so far it's going okay or whatever, but Molly's still feeling on it out. And as soon as, well, when what's her name, Issa, she seen Molly, she was like, "Molly, how's your night going? Is everything's going okay?" Because she said, "Hey Candace, hey Molly, how's everything going?" Because she know her girlfriend is feeling some type of way. Of course she's feeling some type of way. Anybody would be. But I don't know if the wife actually knows. It seemed like when Molly and Candace was talking, that it was kind of awkward. So I know Molly made it awkward because she's sleeping with Dro and she's friends with Candace. But does Candace know that Dro is sleeping with Molly? So we'll see. Maybe let me know. Tell me about it, guys. And so then it was just crazy. So and so Lawrence, and so then Issa just had enough, and Kelly said something. "Oh, you know what?" Issa was like, "Oh, I'm about to get a drink or whatever," and her brother was like, "Oh, now you're about to drink?" And then Kelly goes, "Both of these two drinks are nasty. I mixed them both together. It's like sex in a glass." And then Tiffany was like, "Oh no, she didn't." And so you know what's his name, Lawrence is rubbing on his date or whatever, and showing her attention and affection, and he's not paying attention to Issa at all. And plus Issa feels some type of way because he blocked her. Then on top of that, she has to deal with finding out that Darian um you know came on her face on purpose. So she's feeling some type of way, and she can't really handle the night anymore. It's like, so she walks out, she leaves. Molly looks at Lawrence for him to go check on Issa. Issa's outside calling the Uber. Lawrence and Issa, they start to talk or whatever, and so then it just starts off with Issa was just like, oh, so you couldn't wait to parade that girl, your girlfriend, around here and show her in front of my face and all this other stuff. You just couldn't wait to do that. And plus, you blocked me on Facebook and everything like that. And so and Lawrence was like, I blocked you on Facebook because I'm tired of seeing you taking pictures with the nigga that you was fucking when you was still with me. You know, I don't want to see your fuck boy, this guy that you cheated on me with, you know, pictures all up and down your, you know, timeline or whatever, because, you know, at one point in time, Lawrence was stalking Issa's, you know, timeline, and she's seen her with Daniel, taking pictures with Daniel and all this other stuff. And I was saying that, like, in a couple of videos, if you break up with somebody and, you know, one of you guys cheated on each other with some person, and if you want to get back to your original relationship, you got to let that person go that you was cheating on with. If your ex ever see you with that person that you cheated on them with, you know, they're gonna feel like that you always cheated on them, and you've been doing this for a long time, and they're gonna have assumptions that this person's always been around you, always been sleeping with this person, and this person really came between them because you left them and you wanted to be with them. So if you want to be back with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, if you ever cheated on them, whoever that person you cheated with, don't be seen with them, don't do nothing with them, because the other person will not forgive you quicker, you know. So anyways, so they're outside there arguing and whatever, and she was like, and so she was like, what are you talking about? Oh, what happened to that woo thing, that whoa thing that you had? I didn't get no app. I didn't get no notification that was coming through. I was taking care of your broke ass, your depressed, broke ass for 5 years or whatever. I put in all that work to do all that. And so then he was like, what are you talking about? If you wasn't too busy being a hoe, everything would have been good, but you was a hoe. And she was like, oh, so you was effing that bank teller. You know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, you trying to diss her because she's a bank teller? About that fake producer jump off dude, Daniel, that you was messing with, whatever. How is he even any better? You know what? You just a hoe, you been a hoe, and all this other stuff. So he's calling her hoe, and you know, she's already feeling bad and embarrassed because she just got these gunshots from Daniel in her face. And then plus at this time, she is actually being hoish. She has a whole rotation, but that's not really what she wants to do. She was doing that so she can, you know, so she can close up her feelings inside about losing you know, Lawrence, and how that relationship went down, how she realized that she messed up, but to not deal with them feelings. And plus Lawrence moving on, you know, she felt like, you know, if you, the old saying, if you get under somebody, the easiest way to get over somebody is to get under somebody. And so she was thinking like that would solve the problem, but actually does not solve the problem. So actually, it's like Molly and, you know, Issa are both in the same predicament. They're both at this dinner with the men that they want to be with are attached to other women, and they can't be with them like they want to be with them. So they're both in the same place. They both don't know where they're going to go with the situation. They both don't know what they want at this time. But, you know, right, she wants Lawrence, but she can't act humble enough to get Lawrence, or not be hoish, or not be with Daniel. But instead she flaunts that around. That's not going to help her, you know, change who she is, like to make her a better woman, a better person, because only thing she's doing is downgrading herself, and she feels like she's downgrading herself because of what Daniel did to her, and how hurt she is to hear, you know, Lawrence call her a whore. And Lawrence shouldn't call her a whore or whatever, but it really hurts when you feel like that is true. When somebody call you a whore and you feel like it's true, you feel like you actually are whorish, sometimes it hurts. Like sometimes the truth hurt, and right now she's doing that. And then, you know, Molly's in the same situation because she's at the table with somebody that she can't be with, someone she's trying to have a conversation with, trying to get attention from, but she can't at all. So then, you know, Dro goes to the bathroom. Molly's so desperate that she can't wait. She runs behind him or whatever to talk to him, and she's like, oh, she was like, oh, you and Candace look so good together. You guys look so wonderful. Oh, you guys compliment each other so well. You know, throwing that guilt trip, that side piece guilt trip or whatever. And so he takes him to the bathroom and they have sex real quick, and then he fixed himself up and he was like, yo, Molly, I'm gonna leave, but you wait and then you come out. We can't come out at the same time. And then she's back to feeling like less than a person. She's back to feeling like that side piece. And, you know, so now she's getting ready to come out the bathroom. Who's there for her? Issa, because they're both going through the same traumatic situation with dealing with these guys that they want to be with, and one they should be with, but they can't get back to them because of their behaviors. And then Molly can't get with Dro because he's actually married, so she can't show him public affection. And so, Issa fixes her dress, fixes her shirt, fixes her bangs or whatever, and she goes on her merry way. But she's hurt. And so then Molly finally calls her mom and asks her mom, like, how did you forgive dad for what he did and cheating on you or whatever? She goes, because he loved me so much. The love was so good. The way he loved me, the way he treated me, it just, and I just wanted to stay with him. He made me feel so special. And when someone loves you and they make you feel that way, you just can't stop loving him. You can't turn it off. I'm not going to say I ever forgave him, but his love was so pure and so wonderful that I just couldn't, leave him. I never did stop loving him, and he never did stop loving me. So, and you can't stop love. So to me, that conversation that Molly had with her mother, she might in fact be thinking that, oh, that's the type of relationship she has with Dro, that she's not going to let Dro go because he loves her and he does make her feel good. He makes her feel special. And that's what the mom explains to Molly. But I don't know if she's going to take that message to a different understanding, to say, okay, my mom means a single guy can make me feel this way, or she's taking that message as she should stay with Dro because he makes her feel so wonderful, because she is happy with Dro, she feels good with Dro, but as soon as his attention changes or turns to something else towards his wife, that's when she feels all terrible and she feels like, she's a side piece or whatever. So he actually really can't really make her feel that good, because when she's not in his sight or they're not around each other, she knows that he's with his wife, and so she's always gonna feel that less of a female thing, less of a important, woman to him. And so Dro texts her when she gets home. He was like, I'm going to be in town next Thursday. Can we hook up? And she was like, yo, I don't want to do this no more. Issa goes home and she tears up the house because all that rage, all that hate, all that pain is coming out. And just seeing, Lawrence with this woman, and for Lawrence to be calling her a whore and shit like that. After she did take care of him for 5 years, she was a good hoe. She was a wealthy whore, taking care of you and help you. Now you're on your feet with a decent job and you got this girl on your side, even though Issa's wrong, but it hurts. That shit hurts. So anyways, that's my recap review on Insecure. Boy, these women are going through it. Peace, I'm out.